Alrighty, let's get this thing started, guys. So, little different today. What we're basically gonna do, right? We're gonna do a tier list on all the killers, but this one's gonna be different. You know, people have done tier lists on how good killers are while playing Dead by Daylight themselves. You know, meta strategies, how strong they are. We're doing things a little bit different though. What we're basically gonna do is we're gonna figure out how good killers would be at their own game. If they were to play Dead by Daylight, how good would they be, you know? So, we've got the tier list pulled up here, guys. We'll see how it goes. We'll go from there. So, let me explain the levels. So we got S tier, pro level. This is a killer that would be amazing at Dead by Daylight. They would be able to get into esports at Dead by Daylight. They'd be playing tournaments. They would know what's going on, right? Then, right below that, they got can game. So they wouldn't be the best killers, of course, but they would know how to at least play. They'd maybe get 3 to 4 kills on average, something like that. Then we got one tier below that, which is alright, which it means they might get 1 or 2 kills. They'll probably be wandering around a little bit, don't really know what to do, but you know, they'll still be able to get 1 or 2 people. And then now on to the next tier, we got trash. This is basically killers that know what a video game is, but they don't know how to play at all. They don't know the controls, they don't know how to move the mouse, they might not even know how to use the keyboard or what controller, whatever they're playing on, you know? Then for the bottom tier, the bottom of the barrel, guys, this is killers who basically, they don't even know what a video game is, right? How are they supposed to play Dead by Daylight? How are they supposed to get kills if they don't even know what a video game is? So, let's get things started. We're starting off with Evan, the Trapper here. So let me pull up Trapper's bio. Let me put the tier list away for a second. There you go. So here's the Trapper. He's the Trapper. So Evan idolized his father. It wasn't just that he was a heir to great fortune. It was that he ran the estate, raised under his firm hand. So he was born into a rich family. Well, he might have not been rich himself because it seems like he was kind of a slave to his father. He at least had a bit of money, you know, and then look at this. Evan became his enforcer in what would become known as the worst mass murderer in history. So, basically, Evan has a little bit of wealth and power to him, you know. He does have money. He does have something. So, in that case, and I'm assuming he would know what a video game is. I'm pretty sure he's, like, at least born recently, right? So in that case, what I want to say is because he knows what a video game is, because he's able to lead, because he was able to get some murders in real life and has a strategy, I want to say he's at least semi-smart, you know? He is a trapper, he does know how to trap his survivors, so I feel like that would apply to the game world pretty well. You know, he would at least be semi-good. So, if we pull up, let's see, if we pull up the tier list real quick, I don't think he would be pro level, you know? But I would say he's in between can game and alright. He definitely, I feel like he would be able to figure out the controls pretty fast. You know, I wouldn't call him trash. I would say we'll put him at alright. And the reason being, right, we already kind of said he's wealthy. So he does know what he's kind of doing. He does have some money. And he's a very, what do you call it, loyal, dedicated person. So he'd be able to learn pretty fast, probably get in a few kills. You know, you'll see. We'll see how it is. But I think he'd be alright, you know. Now, moving on to the next killer. We got the Wraith, guys. The Wraith. Let's look at his bio here. Philip came to the country without anything other than hope for a new beginning. Okay, so right off the bat, he doesn't really have that much stuff to his name. So we'll see if he figures out if he knows what a video game even is. He was happy as he got offered a job at Auto Haven Records, a small scrapyard where he bribed cops, turned a blind eye on somewhat shady business that took place. He had seen criminal activity. Okay, so he does know how to handle cars. You know, he does know a little bit of mechanic. It was not until one gloomy day that he, just by accident, saw blood coming from one of the uncrushed cars. As he opened the trunk, he found a young man, gagged with tied hands and panic-filled eyes. Okay, so he freed the man, but then Boss stopped him and slit his throat. This was a service the scrapyard provided to certain clients. Alright, so then this man killed his boss. Okay, so, with that said, right? With that said, let's pull the tier list back up real quick. let's pull this thing up. All right, I want to say, because of the fact he's good with cars and all that sort of stuff and machinery, I feel like he would be pretty all right. I feel like he'd be able to figure out the controls. You know, I feel like, let's just say he knows what cars are. He's dealt with some mechanics. He would at least know what a video game is. I would say maybe because he's not as dedicated or educated, we might say trash, but you would know he's like in between trash and all right. I'm gonna put Evan, or I'm gonna put Philip here at. We're gonna put trash. You know, he would still know the controls. We'll go from there. Now, let's move on to the Hillbilly guys. Hillbilly. Let's move on. Okay, characters. The Hillbilly guys. Hillbilly's bio. Son of a wealthy landowner. Okay, so he is wealthy. This unnamed boy was an unwanted child born to static parent. Hideously disfigured, he was shut away from society, so ashamed they were his son. They bricked him in a room and fed him through a hole. When the boy escaped, he took his revenge savagely and terribly, slaughtering his good fortune instead of raising. Okay, so after the deed was done, he lived on the farm. Okay, as he finally broke free from his shackles through a cornfield, they never found the body of them. The cornfield was quickly. Alright, so in this case, because the Hillbilly, right? Let me pull up the tier list. Because the Hillbilly was locked away most of his life, and he was kind of just put in a room, I want to say he wouldn't know what a video game is, guys. You know, I don't think he would know what a video game is. You strap him, you put him on a desk in front of a DVD monitor playing. I don't think he would really know what's going on. You know, that's all I'm gonna say. So what we're gonna do is, I think respectively, we're gonna have to put him what is a video game. He's been locked out most of his life. He's not gonna know what's what, you know. Next is now the nurse. All right, guys, the nurse. Let's go back to the gameplay. Go to all killers. Go to the nurse. Now the nurse, I'm pretty sure, is in like World War II scenario, right? Sally Smithson came to town with dreams of children's feet and laughter in a wooden home built by her husband Angie. One day, Angie's foreman had paid Sally a visit, forever changing her life with no other option. Sally had to find a way, but only employment she could. Okay. She got a job at the asylum. Over the years, her mind had reached limits, decades of seeing horrid things that violate the eyes. Finally, she cannot take it anymore. Okay. Then she killed him. Honestly, I'm pretty sure the nurse, right? If we search this up, hold on, let me search this up real quick. DBD, the nurse. When was the nurse alive? When was the nurse alive? Let's see this thing, guys. Doesn't really say, but I'm pretty sure she was like a World War II. Like, she's an old lady, right? She's an old lady, I want to say. So, what we're going to do is, because she's like World War II era, something like that, I'm going to put her in what is a video game. You know, I don't think she would really know what to do. She's been a nurse. She's smart, but, you know, she's never heard of a video game at all, so I don't know what we can really do here. Next on the list, guys. Next on the list, we're doing Myers. We are doing Myers, all right? So, bringing the tier list up, nurses and what is a video game. We got Myers up, bio. So obviously Michael Myers, when he was younger, he killed his sister and family, but he was in like a suburban health store, right? So he does know what a video game is because he's in a recent time. And he may have went to the asylum for years. He would have been locked up. But guys, picture this, right? He figured out how to drive a car right after getting out of an asylum. And that is arguably harder than playing a video game, right? So what I'm going to do is, let me pull up the tier list. I want to say, right? I want to say that he would actually be pretty good. He's definitely at least, like, he knows what a video game is, so he's at least fast. But the fact that he learns so fast, the fact that he was able to get out of an asylum instantly, right? Instantly know how to drive a car. We're going to put him in here. I would say he's up in this level, right? That's just my thinking, guys. I'm pretty sure it's... I think I'm right. I think I'm right here. So, that is that now the next person, guys, the Hag. All right. Now the Hag. We go to all killers. Go to the Hag. Bio. So, grew up in a quiet town. She was in a village. All right, so she's definitely not in like some suburban area. And let's see. One night, as she was walking home through the woods, a terrible storm struck without warning. In the slick, wet darkness, she lost her footing, struck her head, and then they kept her chained in a wall. So she seemed to be kind of locked away, similar to Hillbilly for a little bit of her life, you know? And then go home. Yeah, I don't think she would know what a video game is. And even if she did, right? She can't use her hexes attack, you know? She doesn't... Guys, DBD's got anti-hack. What's she gonna do against that, you know? What is she gonna do against that? So, we're gonna, for that reason, we're gonna put the Hag in what is a video game. You know? That's all I'm gonna say. I'm pretty sure... I'm pretty sure I would say that the Hag is... She wouldn't really know what a video game is. So, I'll just say that. Alright. For the next one, we got the Doctor. Alright. We got the Doctor, guys. So, in this case, I think what we're going to do, right? Let's see here. Pull up the Doctor. Let's read his bio. Let's see how it goes. Where is he? There he is. Alright, so we got the Doctor pulled up. So, was a handpicked for special training in advanced neuroscience. Okay, so, really, a friend for the CIA. Okay, so this is a smart man, guys. He works for the CIA. I say, because of the fact he worked for the CIA, right? He's probably a pretty smart dude and would be able to get to video games pretty fast. He'd be able to wrap his head around that, you know? So in that case, I want to say because he's technically working for the CIA, is a pretty smart individual, and in semi-recent time, he would at least know what a video game is. I'm honestly going to put him in... let's see, hold up. It's like a mixture, right? We put the tier list back up. Do we put him between Can Game or Alright? Because I feel like he would do a bit better than these guys, right? I'm going to put the Doctor in Can Game. Okay. We're going to do that, guys. I think that's probably the best scenario there. So, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion, you know? My personal opinion right there. But I think that's where he belongs, you know? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Should I change this to... Hold up. Just chat. I'm going to change it to just chat. We kind of are just chatting. We're not really playing the game, say, right? There we go. Just chatting. Alright. So, we got the Doctor on here. Actually, I guess I should change it. If I'm going to do into just chatting, I might as well say DBD in the title, you know? Actually, do I? What's my title right now? Killer tier list. How good would killers be in their own game? We're going to edit the title so it says DBD killer tier list. There we go, guys. Alright, we should be good. So, now on to the next one, the Huntress, right? So let me put this away. Let me get the tier list out of here for a second. Let's go to the Huntress, guys. Now, for those of you that don't know, in the Huntress's bio, she basically lived in the forest her whole life after her mother died. She was kind of just alone there in her own territory. She did have, like... Yeah, I don't even think they had lights where she was, you know? I think it was, like, candles. If you play on the map, if you play on, like, Mother's Dwelling, I believe it's called, it's literally, like, she's only got candles. So, Huntress doesn't even know what, like, a light switch is, guys. And plus, war eventually came into the force. German soldiers, this is, like, World War II era, right? She's pretty old, when you think about it. So, for that reason, let's bring the tier list up. For that reason, Huntress is going in what is a video game. I don't think she would know what it is, you know. Now for the next one, everyone's favorite basement camper, guys. The favorite basement camper, the Hillbilly, or not the Hillbilly, Leatherface, the Cannibal over here. All right, so for those of you everyone knows kind of his little backstory. You know, he's lived on a farm his whole life, in a slaughterhouse. He does know what some technology is, but he would not really know how to run it. You know, like he knows he's what lives on a scrapyard and a farm. So I would say he might know what a video game is, honestly, right? I would say he might know what a video game is, but he would definitely be trash. You know, like this guy, the most technology he wields is the chainsaw he's holding, and that's like one button push. This man, other than that, I would say he's going in the trash category. We're gonna put him right in trash. Barely knows the controls, would not be able to play. Now for the next one, guys. Freddy Krueger. So let me hide the tier list. Go back here. Let's pull up Freddy. Let's see. Where is he? Where is Freddy? Do we really have to search for him? There we go. Freddy. Okay. So Freddy's bio, we all know who he was. He was like the school janitor in like 1970s or 1980s, something like that. Died to a fire. And yeah, after that, I guess he kind of became like a hell demon, something like that. Infiltrates people's dreams. And one of the things about Freddy is because of the fact he infiltrates people's dreams and uses their nightmares against them, he would kind of know what the most recent stuff is. Right? He's got to keep on track, or else how's he supposed to scare how's he supposed to scare the Zoomers if he doesn't know what the most recent slick is, you know? So, for that reason, guys, honestly, if we pull up the tier list, right? Let's pull this thing up. Let's go back to it. He definitely knows what a video game is, for sure, okay? I want to say he would know the controls. Because like I said, he's a smart guy in a way, and he's a trickster. I feel like he'd be able to learn pretty quickly, infiltrate someone's dreams to learn. Like maybe he infiltrates Demi or Otz's dreams, learns how to play Dead by Daylight, and then goes from there. So I would put him in alright, maybe 1.5 kills. I would maybe put him in, if we're gonna do this like left to right too, I want to say kind of like that, you know, that order. The what is a video game part doesn't really matter, but probably Nurse is a little bit smarter than the rest, so we'll put her up here. Probably the Hag's a bit smarter, so probably like that order. Trash barely knows the controls. I think that fits. I mean, they both lived on like a scrapyard, right? They both lived on a scrapyard, so they'd be pretty equal. I want to say, well, he's probably definitely smarter than Leatherface, so we'll keep him over here. And then Doctor's only one that here, so we're not going to change. Alright, guys. For the next one is the pig, right? This is Amanda. So, if we go to the pig here, right? Bio. So, let me hide the tier list so you guys can actually see. So, we got the pig pulled up. Now, honestly, the pig definitely knows what a video game is, right? Like, it's in recent time. So if she was playing Dead by Daylight, I feel like she'd be pretty good, honestly. Like her whole thing is based on game, right? Her whole identity is based on game. So with that said, I want to say if we pull the tier list up, I want to say she would be like in the can game to pro level, probably better than Doctor, right? Like I said, she definitely knows what a video game is. She's in recent time. She knows technology, she's smart, she's able to create a bunch of other games, not necessarily video games per se, but at least games. So I feel like she'd be pretty good. She'd be able to get like 3 or 4 kills, be on like an average DBD player level, you know. I think that's a good spot right there. Not necessarily pro level, you know. Not necessarily pro level, guys. I don't think she'd be amazing at everything, but we'll leave it at that. I think that's a pretty good one. So next one on the list, guys, is the clown. Let's get this tier list out of the way. Pull up the clown. Where is he? There he is. And look at his bio. Okay, this man was born 1932. Bro does not know what a video game is. He's not... like, what, by the time video games got mainstream, he'd be like 50 to 60? Bro would not be... he doesn't know what a video game is. Let's be real here, guys. So... For that reason, let's bring up the tier list. I'm going to put him in bottom tier, he would definitely be smarter than the Huntress. And because of the fact that he wasn't locked in a... Like, he was working in the circus, but he wasn't locked in a room his whole life, right? So he'd be smarter than them. I think this works out. I think he goes right there, right? Alright, next one, guys, is the Spirit. Alright, the Spirit, guys. So, let's hide this tier list. Go to the Spirit. Let's see this here. So, we got the Spirit pulled up, right? Pulling up the bio. Rin was the only child. She was raised in the dusty halls in a traditional house. Hey, guys, that's important. Traditional house. So she might not have a lot of technology with her. She did study education at a private university, so she was pretty smart, though. We'll give her that. Her mother got ill that year, and bills started piling up. She worked part-time at Light and Load. Okay. So, Rin came home. She stayed up late to entertain customers that lingered at a restaurant, so she worked at a restaurant. Alright. Sharp Katana came crashing down. Rin blocked the blade. Ooh. Got into her forearm. Stepped back trembling, charged at her father, making him stumble back. He punched her, tore her abdomen. Damn, okay. You know, I want to say, doesn't really give an indication of what year she was. You know? Like, this could be... It could be in the past, right? Could be in, like, the time video games weren't even around then. However... She is smart. She went to a private university. Yes, a traditional household. But I feel like she would be alright. You know, she is pretty smart. She'd be able to learn pretty fast. Maybe not the best, but I'm going to say she would be right around... Maybe there. You know? I want to say right around... Maybe... Do we want to put her in alright? Do we want to put her in alright? That's the question. I don't know. I think it depends on her timeline. If she was born before video games were around, which I know, like, if she was born before video games around, I still think she would be here. She'd be able to learn pretty quickly, so even if she doesn't know what a video game is, if we put her in fun, she'd be able to learn it pretty quickly. We'll put her here, even if she was born before it. If she was born after video games, she'd be alright. She'd be, like, maybe before Freddy. So that's where we're going to put her, you know. I think Spirit would be alright. Pretty good. Let's move on to the next one, guys. Next one is... Oh, Legion. Okay. Alright, guys. We're doing Legion right now. Legion, we all kind of know. We go to Killers. We go to Legion, right? If we look at his bio here... If we look at his bio, like, Frank's a 19-year-old. He plays basketball. He knows how. There's 4 of them. We're combining all 4 into one. Honestly, I think they would be pretty good. I think they, like, potential for pro. You know? Like, 4 of them, they're all kids. They would definitely be the best out of everyone on here so far. So I'm going to put them in fan game. Highest one. Maybe not necessarily pro level. I'm not going to say pro level yet. I don't think they would be able to get that, but you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like they would just be, they'd be really good gamers, but not pros. That is my, that's my guess, guys. Alright. What we're gonna do next, right, is, who is it? The Plague. The Plague. Actually, should I change, hold up. Do we change it back to Dead by Daylight? Do we change the category back to Dead by Daylight? I mean, it is more of DBD than just chatting per se. I don't know. We'll change it to Dead by Daylight. Do it. There we go. That might make more sense. Some poor man's on just chatting. He's like, what is this? What is this game? DBD, everyone knows what it is. In a DBD category. Okay. Next one, guys. So we're doing the Plague. We are doing the Plague next. We look at her bio, right? Let me have the tier list for you guys. We look at her bio when she was 5 years old. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that name. She was the youngest family of 7. Damn, okay. She worked at a temple. Process of shock and sorrow, she held on in a belief that the gods had a plan. When she came of age, she attended the high rank priest. Okay. So she's definitely a more traditional person. Probably not much technology, I reckon, you know. So I want to say, because of the fact, so tales are wealth, beauty, and devotion. So she did have wealth, beauty, and devotion. But I can't picture her playing video games. You know, especially if she's like a priest. So I'm gonna put her at maybe high. What is a video game? Because I'm pretty sure she was born before video games. It sounds like too, just from the fact of her bio here. So let me bring up the tier list. We are gonna say that she goes around top of what is a video game. I think she'd be she wouldn't know what a video game was, but she'd be the best at kind of the controls. Like, you know, once she's learned the controls, same with like a lot of these people, maybe the first two here, Nurse and the Plague, once they learn how to play a video game, they would be like up here, you know. They just need like a day or two of practice, per se. So now, next one, guys. Next, we're looking at Ghostface. Guys. Let's hide this tier list. Let's go back. All killers. Where is he? There he is. Ghostface. Everyone's favorite recent horror villain sometime, you know? 1993. So, he's recent. Let's be real here. He knows what a video game is. He would know what it is. Ghostface is pretty young, too. Especially because there's multiple of Ghostfaces, you know? They're all pretty young, like early 20s. So, for that reason, because Ghostface is young, there's multiple of them. He's born in the, like, what would you call it? I guess, video game era. I'm going to bring the tier list up. He definitely knows what a video game is. He'd be alright at it. I would honestly put him as can game. Probably above Doctor. Because Doctor, we only put him in can game because he's like pretty smart. He worked for the CIA. But Ghostface seems like a gamer. Actually, let's put him above Amanda too. I feel like that would be pretty good. You know, he's like a multiple of them and pretty young. That's exactly what video games audience is. So we'll go from there. Next one. Next one's the Demogorgon. How do we go about this when it's like a monster killer, you know? Like the other killers that are quote unquote monsters, the closest one we've had so far would be like the Hillbilly. And that's just a deformed man. This one's like a straight up actual monster, right? So I'm gonna say I still got the tier list pulled up, right? Yeah, I do. Okay. I'm gonna say the Demogorgon would probably be the lowest of the low. They would be the absolute worst. They don't know what a video game is. They wouldn't be able to play. Their hands are too big. They don't even got eyes to see. You know, how are they supposed to... how is the Demogorgon supposed to play? You know? That's all I'm saying. Next one, the Oni. I'm not even going to pull up Oni's bio too, because he's like the grandfather of Rin, right? So, he definitely doesn't know what a video game is. I don't think he'd be able to game. He'd probably be around, like, here? No, let's put him... he's either in between Clown and Hillbilly, or between Hillbilly and Huntress. I'm going to put him right there. I feel like the Hillbilly would be a bit smarter, although he has been locked away most of his life. But he has some technological, like, experiences, right? I would assume. The Oni, on the other hand, he's like he's an old great-grandfather ghost, you know? Like, that's all I'm saying. I don't know. You guys know any grandfather ghosts that would be, like, from the the Hanen era, guys? Like, you think Sakuna would be good at video games without, like, Yuji's, what do you call it? Thoughts? No, so I think that Oni deserves that place there. You know, he's above Huntress, because Huntress is just, like, a kid that's been homeless in the woods her whole life. So he'd be above her. But we'll go from there. Next one. The Deathslinger. So this one I'll have to do a little bit of research. Let's put the tier list away. Let's pull up the Deathslinger real quick. Deathslinger. Bio. So this is like a cowboy, right? So I assume. But I don't think he would be like. I don't think he would know what a video game is. Born in the Dustbin Badlands of America Midwest, Caleb Quinn was the son of struggling Irish immigrants. Like, even the gun seems old, right? Like, this seems like a makeshift sort of thing. It's not like a gun, it's like a harpoon gun. So, like, how good could this man possibly, how technologically advanced could he possibly be? It is pretty impressive that he built that, to be fair. So, Caleb's father, once an engineer, had a few options by his trade and business, posted at common site. No Irish need apply. Okay. So, the devices Caleb made under his father's back had quaint application. Okay, so maybe, hold up. Maybe he is smart. Maybe we give him the benefit of the doubt. Or we should give him the benefit of the doubt. He does seem pretty smart. He knows how to build his own stuff. So, he probably would know what a video game is if it's more recent time. Yes, he's a cowboy, but I mean, people still dress as a cowboy nowadays, you know? So, assuming he's not old, hold up. I saw a railroad spike cloud too. Okay, I mean, I don't really know any railroad things recently, you know. When I see railroad, I picture more like Western times, I guess, with like the cowboy stuff. So maybe he is old. He does have an office though. Caleb kicked down the door. 2 men dragged. Caleb's hobbled to his own old cell. Screams. Okay. After reading all this, right? After reading all that, I want to say he seems like a smart guy who may or may not have been born before video games or after. It doesn't really give a date. So what we're going to say, let's pull up the tier list. If he was born before video games, I would say he would be at the top of here, right? The top of what is a video game. Because he wouldn't know what a video game is, but he'd have the most potential. He'd be able to learn the fastest because he's like an engineer and stuff like that. If he was born after video games, I want to say... I want to say he'd probably be like... there, you know? Not beating Rin, because Rin was... She was traditional, but she went to like a university. So she'd have some smart. Right? So I want to say we'll put him there. Because I'm going to say, I want to assume that he was born after. So I think that's a fair marker. If not, like I said, he'll be at the top of what is a video game. Next one is Pyramid Head, guys. The Executioner. Bio. So a sadistic and merciless executioner, Pyramid Head is fixated on dispensing punishment through pain. Okay. So this is during Silent Hill, right? So let me... What year is Silent Hill set in? What year is Silent Hill set in? Let's see here. Which takes place in 1993. Okay. Is Pyramid Head smart? That's the next question, you know? Okay, he's not known for being smart, I guess. So, because I want to say he would know what a video game is, but would barely know the controls, you know. For that reason, we're going to put him in trash, barely knows the controls. Probably, I wouldn't say he's beating any of these guys, you know. I could picture Leatherface being a bit smarter than Pyramid Head. So we'll put him in there. Next one is the Blight, guys. Now, the Blight's a pretty smart dude, you know. He's basically chemically engineered himself in a sense. So, let me hide the tier list. Let's pull up the Blight's character and bio. Let's pull that up and we'll go from there. Blight. So, to understand the human conditions, one must rise above it. Alright, so this is a man that's dedicated, by the way. If he plays Dead by Daylight, he's reaching the top. That's his goal. You know, he's not stopping until he's the best. So, let's see. I'm just trying to figure out, is there like a timeline that might give it away when he was born? He definitely, like the fact that he's wearing these robes and coats makes it seem like he's definitely older. You know, he seems like the Frankenstein era. So like 100+ years ago. He attended the London School of Medicine. Yeah. British East India Company. And within 7 years, he made head chemist. Okay, so he's definitely smart. I'm gonna say he definitely seems like he was born before video games, right? Like, I don't think anyone can picture this man being born recently. So I'm gonna bring up Tierlist. We're gonna put him in top of what is a video game, you know, because he was born before video games time. Do we move Pyramid Head down too? Because I mean, like, Pyramid Head, the reason I put him up there, right? Pyramid Head. The reason I put him up there is because it seems like, from what I've read before, is Pyramid Head other people. Like, it seems like people are converted into them, right? I don't know. Maybe not. No, Pyramid Head is not other people, but a monster with concealed face and Pyramid Head shape. Okay. For that reason, I'm going to put him in lower. Yes, he was born within video game times, but I don't think he would actually be able to learn anything, you know? So I'm moving Pyramid Head down. We're going to leave Blight there. I think Blight spot is alright. Next is the twins, guys. The twins. So let me hide the tier list and let's pull them up and see what we can work with. Twins? Bio. Alright, so we have the twins here. I didn't even realize they got two Moris. They got Victor's Mori and a regular Mori. Wow, okay, that's pretty interesting. The unlikeness is 17th century. 17th century, guys. Okay. Right off the bat, they don't know what a video game is. We're going to try and determine, are they smart or not. Pair conjoined twins. Their unlikeness, the festival says 17th century. He was a lot smaller than Charlotte. Coming years were fleeting for the twins, yet they're close. Okay, yet they were the closest thing to normal life they would know. Okay. Nothing's really showing that they're smart, per se, I guess. New challenge of the game. Fell ill. Huntress coordinated quickly. Within the temple. Charlotte has no choice. Okay, so what I'm reading here, not really reading anything that makes them seem smarter than the average person. You know? We'll give them, like, average intelligence for the 17th century person. So they definitely don't know what a video game is, right? Don't know what a video game is. We're gonna put them at there. I feel like the twins would be smarter than all of these people, but a little dumber than the nurse, a little dumber than the Blight and Plague here. So I think that's a fair placement, you know. Next one is the Trickster. Now the Trickster, he's a K-pop artist, guys, right? He's definitely born in recent era. So he definitely knows what a video game is. The question is, how good do we think he would be at... How good would the Trickster be at video games? Right? So let's hide that. Let's pull up the Trickster. The Trickster. Oh my god, he's tricking us, guys. I don't know what that was. I'm bored. So the Trickster. So, let's see. Kept up intermissions. He recorded... Okay, so he records albums. This man records his own album. He's not just a K-pop star who's dancing. He makes his own music. You know, I could see him DJing. He is a professional. So, for that reason... let's pull it up. I want to say he would be... He can game. We're going to put him right there. Maybe above. We're going to like have Ghostface and him tied. Because it depends on how often he plays video games in his free time. Because let's be real. The Trickster probably does play video games. He's at least played some. So he can definitely game. Yeah. I think if he plays... Like, I could see him easily being, like, better than Ghostface. Potentially better than Legion. You know, he is a young guy himself, the Trickster. So, yeah. I would say that's a pretty fair spot. So, if I were to get, like, the finals, he would be, like, here, depending on how much he plays, can be at the top of Can Game, maybe even bottom pro level, you know? Because he is a rich dude. Does know how to use technology. Next one is Nemesis. So let's hide the tier list. Go to here. So we all know Nemesis is like a T virus, T or G virus. I assume T because of this monster. So he is pretty smart though, right? He does know how to use like rocket launchers, things like that. He would know what a video game is, I assume, because he is in recent times. So I want to honestly say, you know, when I first looked at Nemesis in the tier list, right? I instantly thought, oh, he's not going to know what a video game is. He's a dumb zombie, in a sense. No, he's not really dumb though. Now that I think about it, like I said, he uses RPGs. He always knows how to find like the survivors, the main characters of Resident Evil. He knows like what a train is too. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna say Nemesis might be here. You know, I feel like he'd be terrible at moving like the controller. Like his hands are too big. He'd maybe like break the controller, but with the fact that he can fire an RPG, use weapons, he's advanced intelligence. You know, I would say he's here. I want to say there's that. Next one on the list, guys, Pinhead. Pinhead's a little bit of an odd one, you know, because he's kind of like Freddy in a way, almost. In the fact that it's like he's kind of like more like demon-like, and I know Freddy's not necessarily a demon, but like, you know, that idea of something. But by a demon to some, okay, so he literally kind of is a demon to some and an angel to others. An angel to others, okay. Pinhead has explored in further regions of experience, indulging the limitless thrill of pleasure and pain. Okay, so this man does play DBD then. Limitless thrill of pleasure and pain. Guys, I think we found the average DBD player. When the puzzle box known as the Lament Configuration, even in our dimension, was found in the entity's realm, it was only a matter of time before it fell into Curious' hand. Alright, I honestly think Pinhead would know what a video game is, you know, especially with recent times. His whole idea is to kind of like torture people, right? Because he likes pleasure, or he likes the pleasure of pain, I guess you could say. So Pinhead likes torturing people. So if he's trying to torture the Zoomers, guys, he's going to take away their iPads. He's going to take away their DBD stuff. So I'm honestly going to say Pinhead, he knows what a video game is. He's above all these guys. I want to say he's like here. I could picture Pinhead being better at video games than Leatherface. Not really the others, though, you know. I don't think he's a technological genius. I could be wrong. I don't know much about him. Is that? So that's why for the tier list, I put him right there, above Leatherface, in trash. He would barely know what the controls are, but he would know what a video game is. Okay. Next one, the artist. I'm gonna have to pull up the artist too, because I don't know too much about their bio. Let's see. Anything that gives an indication of when she was born. Was a gifted artist, carried the guilt of young brother's death, grew up carrying the guilt. Year later, anything above the year, anything about the year though? Not really. But the fact that she is a good artist, I feel like artists are kind of good gamers. I don't know why. That's just coming to me. You know, I could picture her being semi-good. She does like her clothes kind of look recent. She's got like a turtleneck sweater or something, like whatever you want to call that, a dress. It does seem like she's more in recent times, right? So if we pull up the tier list, I would say she probably does know what a video game is, because like the fact that she looks recent. And we're gonna put her. I feel like she'd be like there. I feel like she'd be alright at DBD if she picked it up. She might need like a day or two to learn, but after that, she'd be like popping off, you know? She'd know how to play. Next one, guys. Sadako, the ghost. 7 Days to Die. She knows what a TV is. She knows what a phone is, you know? She calls people, 7 days later, you are dying, my friend. She comes out of the TV, so she doesn't know what technology is. I know she was... If we go to her, she's like an old-timey ghost, though, right? Yeah, from Japan. I'm assuming like an old part of Japan. I mean, she fell in a well, or at least in like the... I guess you could say at least in the like farm area. I couldn't picture her in like suburban area with wells. So I want to say the fact that she knows what technology is, she knows what a game is, she's above that category. I honestly want to put her maybe in, let's see, like maybe here, you know, like maybe even above these guys, because she's been inside the TV, you know, what's she seeing in there? What's she seeing inside the TV that she'll learn? So we'll put her in that category. And I think that's a pretty good place. I think fair placement. Let's hide this kill. Or who's next? The Dredge? Yeah, the Dredge. So let's pull up that bad boy. The Dredge bio. I mean, this is like a monster. He doesn't even have hands to play. You know, like how's he supposed to play with that claw? You know, I mean, he has this. Like, I guess he could move. He could move. Maybe not move the mouse. But he could at least use WASD or hold the controller and move that. But, yeah, I don't think this guy knows how to play video games. I want to say because he's a monster, we'll probably put him in the lowest category. Like, probably... Honestly, I could picture him probably there. Probably, like... I would say Pyramid Head's smarter because it's in recent time art. We'll do that. I think that's fair. You know, honestly, the Dredge might be smarter than the Huntress because the Huntress was just in like the forest their whole life, but who knows? Who knows, you know? Alright, guys. Next one, Wesker. Now, Wesker is a pretty smart dude, you know. I mean, he's the main antagonist in Resident Evil 5, I believe, right? He's pretty smart. He basically was able to transform himself into like superhuman with the virus. So because of that, I want to say he's probably honestly top of all right. No. Because I want to say Wesker's probably smarter than the Doctor. And the whole reason we put the Doctor in game is because of the fact that he's like works for the CIA, knows technology, knows neuroscience. And I feel like Wesker would kind of be on a similar level, but more modern times. And he's like used to machinery like weapons and whatnot, so hands-on stuff. For that reason, I'm gonna put Wesker. I feel like he might be better than Amanda too. We'll put him there. I feel like that's fair. Next one, the Knight. So the Knight, let's be real, he was born before video games, so that's an instant what is the video game tier. But he's like a smart, I would assume, like a smartish medieval person. He did have his own battalion per se. So, I would put him above the Clown, above the Hag, below the Twins. I feel like the Twins would have better, overall intelligence since they were born much later, in the 17th century, when the Knight was probably, who knows when, the 14th, I assume, or something like that. So, yeah, I want to say the Knight's below them. He does have that leadership factor, though. You know, he does have his goons, he does have his bandit. Despite that, I still think he's below the Twins. You know, I think the Twins would have a better grasp of technology, even though they were born way before video games themselves. So, I think that's fair. I think that is fair. Next one, the Skull Merchant, guys. Instant S. Instant S. The Skull Merchant, let me pull up the bio for them, right? Let me hide this tier list. Let's go to the Skull Merchant and let's read this bio together. Skull Merchant, right? Self-made millionaire. So self-made millionaire. Came from a humble home in Brazil. So she made her own money. And she knows technology. Like by middle school, she was in a fancy pool due to her high performance and needing money. So she's got all that. She's, look at this, looking for ways to make her own money, start a website. She knows how to make a website. She's already smarter than half the DBD community, more than half, including myself probably. She realized that she had no real interest in writing. So she's created all these contraptions. You know, she's basically got the Predator's Gauntlet mixed with like the Assassin's Creed hidden blade. She's got like a gas mask thing with a what do you call it? A glowing light. I don't know what that is, but I couldn't make that. So she's probably pretty smart. And the fact that she's got, like, look at this, by her mid-20s, she was flipping companies, She's ran companies, guys, and she's created her own. This is a pro level gamer. You do not want to face this person in DBD. Like, if she was playing Dead by Daylight, she would get 4 kills every single time. She knows what a video game is. She would dominate. She would dominate. So, we're keeping her there. Singularity, I'm also putting him in S, right? So, if we go bring the tier list back up for you guys, let's see. I put him below. I'm putting him below the Skull Merchant because I feel like more organic plays can be played with her. But the Singularity would be smart. He'd be able to play. He doesn't have like hand, right? So if we go to the Singularity real quick, all killers. Let's see, Singularity. He doesn't really have hands to play, right? But I feel like he could plug into the computer, right? He'd plug into the computer and basically know how to play from there. All right, he'd plug in. He'd basically be the computer itself. He'd be like hacking the game. He'd just got like speed hacks or something. He would like turn on the hacks, get 4 kills every single time too. But like I said, I do think the Skull Merchant would be better because their organicness, you know, human race superior, guys. ChatGPT 20.0 in the future. Don't click that so I don't die, please. Singularity is good, but other than that, for now we are gonna leave the Skull Merchant at the top right now. Alien is smart. It's in the future. The whole point of Alien is meant to be there like an adaptive evolutionary predator, right? Like, if we go to the Alien right now, Alien, there we go. Let's pull up the bio. Does it say like it? Does it say something about smart? Yeah, desperate for survival. It doesn't really say here. Yeah, a perfect organism, born of violence, designed to kill. Right? That means they know how to kill. They know how to hunt. But I don't think that applies to video games. And honestly, they do seem kind of dumb in the movies. Not gonna lie. Like, why do they run towards someone with a gun half the time? So, I would say they know what because they're an alien, they wouldn't necessarily know what a video game is, but they would definitely be able to learn kind of fast. I would say we'll put them. Yeah, what is a video game? We'll put them like there. We'll put them there. I feel like he'd do better than the Hillbilly playing video games, you know? I don't know. I put him there. I put him in between Clown and the Hillbilly. I feel like he would be... I don't know. I could picture Alien being pretty good at video games, despite not knowing what a video game is. So I think it would be better than the Hillbilly, Oni, all the ones that came before it. So I think that's a solid placement right there. You know, I could picture Alien not knowing how to play at first, but once they do start playing, you know, I could maybe 1 kill in the future. Now on to the next one. We're on to the final 5, guys. The next one is Chucky, right? We're going to Chucky. Let's go to the killers. Let's get Chucky pulled up. The good guy. We all know he's kind of from like what, the 1980s, the 90s. It was like set in the movie, or was it the early 2000s? No, like it was like late 90s, right? Something like that. I don't know. But he does know what a video game is. I mean, he was like a criminal, but you know, he was a criminal in like the city, the big city. And there was video games going around during the 1990s, you know. He knows what a video game is. So that instantly places him instantly above what is a video game. Because he's like an average guy, I would put him above Trash. You know, because he's like an average guy in the modern era, put him above Trash. I could picture him being better than Freddy. But not can game. I don't think he would be a gamer. Don't think he would be the best. But for that reason, I'm gonna put him at the top of alright. You know, if you're playing against like, what is his actual name? Let me hide this real quick so we can go back to the game. Charles Lee Ray. I could picture Charles Lee Ray as a gamer, guys. I honestly think he would probably get 1 or 2 kills. I don't think he's in can game category, you know, but he would definitely be able to get 1 or 2. Next one, the Singularity. The Singularity is good at mimicry kind of, you know, the whole point of the Singularity is they're trying to like, they're an entity trying to disguise themselves as a human. They know how to like, copy an axe, but they don't necessarily know how to use the mimicry that well. I mean, like, let's be real. Does this, if you look at the bottom left there, does that look anything like a person? I mean, kind of, but not really. So they would maybe be able to mimic some skills of video games, but not know how to actually play. You know, he'd just be moving the mouse. He'd see someone playing Dead by Daylight. He'd start moving the mouse, moving the keyboard, but not knowing what any of it actually does. So, for that reason, I would say he might know what a video game is. I mean, he's been in the movie theater in the trailer, right? I'm going to put him in here. Lowest of trash. He wouldn't know any of the controls, really, but he would maybe know what a video game, you know. I'm going to put him there. Vecna. Moving on to Vecna. Vecna's like a fantasy, like he's a D&D character, right? So he's like a fantasy, medieval sort of thing. He uses magic, but because of the fact he uses magic, right? Because of the fact he uses magic, he's probably pretty smart. If we go to the Lich here, like look at that, he's creating portals to another dimension. I mean, if he can create portals, I'm sure he knows how to move them out, you know? So, let's see. Yeah, he copied what he learned on a fresh piece of parchment. So, because of the fact that he's smart, like, he's literally the master of secrets. That is this man's nickname. The Whispered One, Lord of the Rotted Tower. Like, Bo's already got a Twitch. Bo's got a Twitch and gamer tag, guys. Like, imagine you're playing Dead by Daylight and you see the Master of Secrets or the Whispered One. You know you're in for some trouble. Even if they're trash, that's a fearsome name. He's got, like, the psychology warfare going on. So, let's bring up the tier list. I want to say, because of the fact, right? Because of the fact that he's in like the fantasy era, he wouldn't know what a video game is. He'd be in what is a video game category, but he would be at the top of it, right? Because if he did figure out what a video game was, he'd be able to learn pretty fast. And like I said, he's already got the gamer using. He's going to be right there. Next one, guys, is Dracula. This is kind of a similar thing, right? Similar case. Dracula, in the fantasy era, like he's in the Castlevania medieval kind of stuff, but he's smart, guys. Like, he's got a mobile tower, a mobile castle that can teleport. Do any of you guys have that? I don't think so. So honestly, last resurrected in 1999, so he does know what a video game is then. I was gonna say maybe he doesn't because he's on the... No, this man knows what a video game is. So that instantly... Let's bring this up. Let's bring the tier list up. He knows what a video game is. He's smart. He's engineered. He's lived for thousands of years. I honestly want to put him in the canned game category. Like maybe even above Wesker, guys. I want to say he's like Wesker, maybe before Wesker. I want to say he's like right here, right? He's below Wesker, but above Amanda, because he knows his stuff. He knows what a video game is. He was last resurrected in 1999, and he's smart, right? So I think that's a fair placement on him. I think that's a fair placement. Now, last but not least, is the newest DBD killer, still in the player test build, by the way, the Hound Master. The Hound Master, guys. Now, I did read the bio when they first came out. So she's like a pirate, basically, who's going for revenge. The Hound Master, they're not even in this, right? I'm on the main game right now. I'm not even on the player test build. So if I search up Hound Master, they don't even show up. So I can't read her bio. You'll just have to trust me that she's like a pirate, I guess. But because of the fact she's a pirate and a bit older, she ran her own crew, and she does have like a good dog, so maybe the dog can like bring her G fuel while she's playing. I don't know. So I want to say she's in what is a video game category, because she wouldn't know what it is, but she would be like at the top. You know, I could picture her being semi-smart, probably above. Let's do this. Let's put her right there. Like, if you were playing Dead by Daylight, you had your PC set up, or you had your Xbox, PlayStation, and you sat the Hound Master down, they wouldn't know what a video game is. But she leads a crew. Like I said, her dog can bring her G Fuel. you give her a day or two of training, she'd be able to learn relatively quickly, you know? And I just want to clarify, because people are in this category does not mean after a week they would remain in this category, you know? Vecna doesn't know what a video game is, but after a week or two of learning, he'd probably be above some of these guys. Like, he'd definitely be above Leatherface. You know, Leatherface is not learning how to play a video game, guys. Like, he might know what it is, but he doesn't know the controls. Vecna, he'd be getting 4 kills. He'd be like up here. Vecna would be a gamer, guys, after he figures out what a game actually is. So, I think that's the tier list. I think we've got it. So let me do a quick recap. Skull Merchant, Singularity at the very top. The Skull Merchant created their own website. You know, they're a powerhouse. They're smart, multimillionaire. Singularity, because, you know, he'd plug into the computer, have his instant hacks. Legion, Ghostface, Trickster. I could all picture them as easy gamers, you know. So they're in the can game category. Wesker, he's pretty smart. He's like a superhuman. So he's up there as well. Dracula, we just went over. He's a gamer. I could picture him being a gamer. You know, he's pretty smart. Same with Amanda. Amanda's whole thing, the pig, is about video games. So she's up there. Or not video games, about games. So she'd be able to learn video games pretty fast, I think. And knows what video games are, so she'd be a gamer. The Doctor's up there because he's pretty smart. He's worked for the CIA, you know, all those sort of things. Chucky and Freddy, they're both in recent times, both average adult males, you know, average, target audience for video games. Artist, there wasn't much info on when she was born. I assume recent, but, you know, artists are usually pretty good at video games, so we'll keep her there. Trapper, he was pretty, he was born into like a wealthy family, and although he probably wasn't taught well because of his father, I could still picture him maybe getting 1 or 2 kills, you know, being able to learn fast. Michael Myers, he was born in recent times, so he knows what a video game is for sure, and he figured out how to drive a car right after escaping the asylum. So, I mean, there's that. Nemesis, I mean, let's be real, he knows how to fire a rocket launcher. Does more need to be said? Trash, we got the Spirit, because, you know, she's pretty smart, but she was in a traditional family, probably doesn't know what video games are too much. She just, like, heard of them, or maybe seen a YouTube video or something like that. Deathslinger, you know, he knows how to build his own contraptions, and if it's in recent times, if he knows what a video game is, he'd be in like the trash category. Sadako, she knows what a TV is, she knows what a phone is, she calls people. There's where we go. Philip, he ran like a auto haven farm, so you know, like a wrecker's sort of thing, so he'd know pretty well. Cenobite, he'd know what a video game is, because he's got to get the zoomers, right? With the pleasure and pain sort of stuff, he'd like remove video games from people, and then they'd just start freaking out. And I can picture him being pretty good at video games. Leatherface, he's born in recent times, and he's had some exposure to like the outside people, so probably there, but I couldn't picture him being any good. The Unknown, I can picture the Unknown like hunting someone's recent dorm room or something like that. So seeing a video game, knowing what a video game is, but when it comes to actually trying to play, they were just trying to touching the controls and whatnot. What is a video game? Pretty standard stuff. You know, it's basically categorized. You can kind of picture what is video game as its own tier list, where it's like they're all in the same sense of they don't know what a video game is, but from top, starting from Vecna to bottom, going to Demogorgon, it's basically just their smartness. You know, how smart would someone be able to adapt after figuring out what a video game is? So, yeah, that's the tier list, guys. I've been talking for like an hour straight. I don't know how I managed to do that, but this was honestly kind of fun. Kind of fun to do, to be honest. So, that's the tier list. I mean, you guys have any suggestions in the chat? I'm streaming this. I'll probably upload it to YouTube, so any suggestions in the Twitch stream or YouTube video, let me know, and we can change some things together. We can maybe do a rerun stream or something like that. I don't know. But thanks everyone for tuning in, watching, and I hope you all enjoyed.